what kind of feedback did you receive regarding last year's what should you call it? Suicide and Sunshine.
The album, it was all like resoundingly positive, man. Like it was, you kind of brace yourself when you put out a record and you go, here it comes. And because I think that's what we all do. We kind of focus on the negative, and for some weird reason, the positive stuff doesn't really like hit you as hard. But so I was bracing for that, and as you do when you put anything out into the ether, and but yeah, it seemed like old fans and new fans are all like really stoked. In a lot of ways, it was kind of like a return to older sounds, and then also kind of just focusing on nailing the sounds that we'd experimented with all this time. And yeah, I think we got a really happy medium and kind of really nailed that thing we were going for. So I think, yeah, everybody seems to have really loved it, which is incredible. There's not a lot of hate, which, if any, really, that I've seen, and I'm guilty of going through the mentions. You know what I mean? Wounding myself on purpose, kind of thing. But yeah, no, I didn't see anything bad. Yeah, so that was a very, very welcome surprise.
Nice. So, what plans do you have to follow it up? Does Enmore represent what you've been working on?
Um, yeah, Enmore's kind of just a so in between the American Dream and Suicide and Sunshine, we released three singles, and that was during like the big COVID lockdown and everything, and that was just for funsies, you know what I mean, and just to kind of um, tie everyone over and ourselves over until we could kind of get back in the studio and do something properly. Um, and I think these next singles are pretty much just that as well. It's just kind of new songs. They're not B-sides. They're not anything, to kind of delve into too deeply and think, oh fuck, this is what Trophy Eyes is going to be next or whatever. It's just like it's just us being a band and making music. I think we've got another couple to come out. Bit of a spoiler there, but yeah, they're just kind of reminiscent of the shit we love, the stuff, the music that we listen to, and kind of what got us here. And it's a bit of fun. Like they don't really sound like a lot of what we've got going on at the moment, especially like Suicide and Sunshine, but it's a lot more raw and less polished. But yeah, it's just fun to kind of, we're a band made of, musicians. We like to get together and write music, and that's kind of just what came out. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're touring with Boston Manor and Towns. What do you like most about those guys?
I could talk all day about Boston Manor. They're very good friends of mine. I've known them for years and years and years now. We toured with them for better part of a year, kind of all accumulatively, kind of all jammed together there. And fate would have it, yeah, we just were touring together and on the same tours, and we did Warped Tour together, and we just became best buds. And I remember one specific day we had press in their bandwagon on Warped Tour, and somebody asked me, "What's your favorite Boston Manor song?" And I was like, I don't know. I've never actually heard them. And the guys in the bandwagon were like, "What the fuck? Like, really?" And I was like, honestly, I couldn't tell you one song of yours that I know. Since then, that's changed, and I love everything they do. But I think, to be honest with you, the thing I love most about them is just the characters themselves. I really, really love them. And Towns, they're just great. They're a lot of fun, high energy, cool, like, the pop punk that I kind of grew up on, it sounds like a lot of the time. And yeah, they just bring like a great element of fun and high energy, and they're really good at what they do.
I feel like someone who, grew up in on punk music and in a punk band. I imagine the Warp Tour must have just been.
I did it twice, dude, and it was one of the first time I was, I think, 22, 23, and we did it in a Sprinter van, and we did it like really, really cheap because we had no money or anything. We only had the first album out, and that was like very much like a melodic hardcore, kind of bits and pieces of everything. And yeah, we weren't really like developed in the US at that time, so that was really, it was actually quite hard. And now I look back at it and I think like if I did that now at 32, I don't think I'd make it out. Like I don't think my back and my knees would take it, you know. But it was eye opener, man. It felt like summer camp for adults. It was just incredible. I'm so happy I got to do that. And the second one was, you know, even better. Just kind of like knowing the ropes a little bit more and having a little bit more success there. So the shows were better and not so much like slogging it and eating shit every day. It was a little bit more time to sit back and enjoy and kind of like see what, you know, the phenomenon that Warped Tour is. So yeah, it was mind blowing, man. And like, you know, from air drumming in my room to Blink-182 when I was like 14, it wasn't lost on me. You know what I mean? Like I was there with that 14-year-old version of myself every day being like, holy fuck, like what is this, man? What is happening? You know? So yeah, incredible experience, dude.
Nice. Now, I noticed in reading up about you that you are almost my height. I
Oh,
am,
really?
yeah, I am 6'7". I was 6'8". The world has ground me down uh,
Really?
considerably. What do short people need to understand about being tall?
I can see the top of your head. That my point, that my view of everything is totally different from theirs. I think also that everybody is short, like everybody. You have to be like 6'5" to 7 foot for me to go, damn, that motherfucker's tall. If you're 6 foot, you're just short. Everybody is short, you know. Um, what else? I'm a pro at getting things off shelves, I guess. Like I have a lot of bumps and scars on my head when I shave my head, like from smashing myself on you know,
Hmm.
low flying things. I think that's about it. Also, one thing I've noticed in training like Muay Thai and in the gym that my center of gravity is really, really low. So I kind of like I don't have like great core strength. So that I've noticed that, and it kind of like comes out of my dancing too. I look like, yeah, it's weird. It's like, you know, you can't. It's I don't know where I'm going with this, but I kind of dance like Ellen DeGeneres, and I'm blaming that on my height. So,
And there's the
it's a
quote.
person thing.
Yeah. I actually made a shirt, and it says, "Tonight's tall guy in front of you is brought to you by Sense Music Media," and that's what I wear to every single show.
That's genius. Yeah.
Do tall people need to stand at the back?
Um, you know, I think like everything depends, man. Like if you're at a Wiggles concert, probably, yeah. Like, but I feel like, um, you know, wherever I stand in a show, I always look behind me and check and say, "Can you see?" Like, and if it's like a tiny person there, I'm like, "Oh, fuck," you know, you want to stand in front or whatever. But I mean, it depends. It depends.
I actually spent because I went and saw Red Hook, and of course the crowd is over half women, and I like to be at the front, so I literally spent the entire show on one knee, the barrier.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. That's some chivalry at its
It's
best.
it's uncomfortable, is what it is, mate.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, my knee! I regret this decision.
Yeah.
Mate, you now did the band form in Newcastle?
It did, yeah, back in 2013. Um, and we kind of practiced for a year. I had an inbox from the old drummer, Cal. He inboxed me on Facebook like years and years before, maybe like 2007 or something like that. And it said, check out my band and whatever. And they were in some kind of like pop punk band thing. Anyway, I moved to Newcastle and um, I opened that thing up again because I thought I want to be in music. I want to sing for a band. I want to do some band stuff. And I messaged him and I said, "You don't need a singer by any chance. Is your band still together?" And he said, "Well, we're starting a new band, but if you want to sing, I'll play drums." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I went out there and tried out, and we did some like Newfound Glory covers and shit. And they were like, okay, well, when you come back next week, we'll start writing some music. And I was like, oh shit, I got the job. This is my first ever band that I've been in, and that was my first ever tryout experience. And yeah, the rest kind of just grew from there.
Mate, at this stage, I mean, what advice would you give to your younger self?
Advice I give to my younger self, I don't know. It depends on how deep that answer is and like how raw. I feel like um, I think now, because I've answered this question a few times, it's going to be different every time. But I think now, in the place where I'm at now, I would say to trust yourself more and to stop listening to like disregard no people that say no to things before they've thought about it, or people that are afraid because maybe you don't have the resources to achieve a big idea, or um, you want to surround yourself with people that say, okay, how do we make that happen, instead of no, that can't be done because we don't have this. There's no innovation in that. There's no imagination. There's no thirst for life. There's nothing like that. So what I would say is just trust yourself and believe in your vision and keep working at it, and don't take no in that world. Don't take on the no's, and surround yourself with people that get excited with your vision and your idea.
Yeah. So growing up, obviously with punk music and whatnot, who were some of your vocal idols growing up?
I don't really think I had a vocal idol until I heard Touche Amore, really, and that was when I was probably 20. I think that was the first time I heard them. But I mean, when I was a kid, like the first band that I heard that like properly was doing like the screamy thing was they're an Aussie band. They played Where the City Meets the Sea. It was like a huge radio hit. What the fuck's their name? Anyway, there was an Aussie band. I heard them on Short Fast Loud. Also, like obviously, like Blink-182, Tom DeLonge was. I loved his like graveliness. Um, but yeah, really, I hadn't found someone that I would consider a vocal idol until I heard Touche Amore. They're like a emo scram punk band, and hearing his vocals and also his lyricism. There's a quote of his that I've kind of shaped my career around, which was, "If I was ever to raise my voice, I'd be as honest as I could be, no matter what I would destroy." And I've always kind of taken that on and said, like, yeah, if I'm going to scream about something, it's not going to be about pizza and parties and getting hammered and whatever. It's going to be real, genuine pain. It's going to come from a need to scream. So I doubled down on the honesty thing after hearing that. I was like, okay, cool. This is my thing. I've found my purpose in music. So that's I think that'd be my main vocal idol. And then just kind of learning to add some melody to it, because the boys really didn't want to have like just a full screaming vocalist. So, and that's kind of where the sound developed. Yeah.
But what if pizza causes you genuine pain?
I don't know, yeah, if I was lactose intolerant or something, or I had like too many chilies. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I'll cross that when it comes to it. I really don't want to put people to a song if I can manage. Yeah.
Speaking of scram stuff, I'm out of the loop, man. I was very confused when screamo started being called scrams. Wait,
Hmm.
what? I had no idea what that was. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know the background to it all myself. I just kind of, I don't know,
Mm.
pick up some bits and pieces here from Reddit or Twitter or whatever. But yeah, I'm not the genre police. Like I don't know shit about shit. You know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know when it stopped being screamo, but I think when when emos felt, like real life emos, like people listen to Death Cab for Cutie and shit, when they got overthrown by the raccoon tail fringe and black makeup emos, which I was one of, with the snake bites and the straight fringe and shit like that. So yeah, I think all got in a big muddle there, and it came out somewhere in the middle ground. Called it Scrams.
Have you, well, speaking of scrams, I'm so down with the lingo. Um, have you heard of a Queensland band called Blind Girls?
Blind Girls sounds familiar, but I can't say off the top of my head. No.
Check them out, man. If I would describe it as, if you can imagine Converge's Jane Doe done with a female vocalist, like it's just, yeah, just
Hell yeah.
yeah, they absolutely blew my mind. I will go out of my way. I was quite shocked because as someone who grew up as like emo, I was a new metal kid. I'm a few years older than you, so
Yeah,
when I got really into Blind Girls, and then they're like they're a screamo band, and I'm like, but I'm not supposed to like screamo. This is outrageous.
yeah, man, yeah.
They got me.
I went through the same thing. I was actually listening. I remember listening to that kind of stuff, and then hearing Killswitch Engage and thinking like, oh no, I fuck with this, but I don't want to. I want to start in that world, man. I'm not ready. You know what I mean? But eventually, now I listen to literally anything that I consider good. You know what I mean? I've kind of broken out of that because it was clicky. You know, music as you're growing up is kind of clicky. It defines what kind of person you are. Like, oh yeah, I listen to emo. So people like, those kids get together down the back table and smoke darts and fucking, like come to school drunk and like whatever. And metalcore kids probably normally surfers or motocross or whatever. Like, and I feel like that kind of, yeah, defines who you are when you're growing up. But now I listen to literally anything. Like, yeah, anything that gives me any kind of crumb of joy, I'm into. What was that band called again?
Blind Girls. Uh,
Blind.
Blind Girls, as in
Oh,
can't
Blind. That's my band. Yeah,
Blind Girls. Yeah, man. Thank me later. You will enjoy.
perfect, bro. I've got it written down now. That's good.
Easy. Um, yeah, the metalcore thing surprised me because, I remember when Parkway Drive started coming up, and there was this huge buzz. I saw them in when I grew up in Tassie. I saw them in a pub with like 200 people. They were touring Killing with a Smile.
Yeah,
And I'm not ashamed to say that I just didn't quite get it. I mean, they were a band, they could play, but there wasn't a, oh my God, this is going to be fantastic. And Horizons comes out, and I've just seen them go doot 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 doot. And,
yeah,
they've got the most pyro. These, they were playing at the first Knotfest, and holy shit,
yeah,
that's the most pyro I've seen this side of Ramstein. Like, what?
yeah. Dude, the drummer's like spinning around in a chair and shit now.
Yeah.
Like, it's wild, man. But yeah, I get that too. I saw them. I think like around like 200-300 cap venues, and then it was Sweatfest, I think, which was like just ballistic. And they had like I think it was Suicide Silence and A Day to Remember was there. But yeah, absolutely mind blowing, dude. But it was. I wasn't the same. I could kind of tell. I was like, oh shit, this is something brand new. You actually kind of look a little bit like Winston, the
I have
singer.
had that before. Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of remind me of that since you said Parkway. Yeah.
Oh, easy. John, this has been rad. Thank you very much for your time. Obviously, it's been a year for you. I'm hoping that things get better, and you persevere. I hope the tour is fantastic. And yeah, man, you're a lovely dude. So I hope nothing but good things for you.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that very much.